in general. So that is really great. And hopefully you guys will stick around for every month, because we do these events monthly. And blockchain and Ethereum Tallinn started its first meetups almost a year ago. So the idea behind the project was to simply have a crypto meetup here in Tallinn, since at the time there was not any. So there used to be 2 different ones, but eventually both of those got abandoned. So one was Crypto Beers, and I'm not sure what the other one was called. So I decided to start up this meetup that's focused on crypto, blockchain, and also smart contract platforms such as Ethereum. And over the year, we've come a pretty long way, and we're planning to even expand our reach further. And to do that, we'll be starting a YouTube channel and doing some other types of content also. And one of the questions that's kind of on our mind right now is, if we want to get this global reach and create content for everybody, then what our project name would be. And I'd like to do like a small, quick survey amongst all of you here. So just with a quick show of hands. So we've kind of narrowed it down to 2 final names. And I just kind of want to see which one you guys would prefer and kind of get like the audience feedback. So we have 2 names, Blockchain Universe and Crypto Universe. So kind of same concept. And we just want to see which one resonates better among our audience. So yeah, quick show of hands. How many of you think that Blockchain Universe is the better name? All right, kind of half. And Crypto Universe? I think that's slightly more. All right, awesome. Thank you so much for the feedback. So today's event will be featuring Artur Schaback from Paxful. Paxful is a decentralized crypto marketplace. So you can buy Bitcoins, you can sell Bitcoins, and you have a lot of different payment methods also. So in concept, it's maybe similar to local Bitcoins, if some of you are more familiar with that. And yeah, thank you so much for joining. Today's topic will be building a fintech application from scratch, and we'll be joined by Artur. Thank you.
Well, I have this one.
Oh, perfect.
Right. So, everybody hears me? Right, it works? Okay, cool. So, thank you for inviting. I've been to this meetup before, and really amazing people here. Met some new awesome people, right? So, small correction, we're not decentralized, we are peer-to-peer. I will explain that later, but the idea is, as you said, you buy directly from other people. So, let's go. So, anybody knows how to change the slides? Maybe it's with a delay. At you. Nice, yeah. Okay. As a topic is building fintech application from scratch, right? And of course, I'm gonna explain about Ethereum, and it will be mostly about what I learned during this like 8 years working in software development fintech, right? All the mistakes and what we learned from this, and I'm gonna explain you what you can use in your work, and maybe you're not gonna make these mistakes that I did. So here are the topics, right? My crypto journey, what is Paxful, some statistics about it, and then when you build something, right, what you have to take into account, like really important things to succeed. All right, so the Paxful is peer-to-peer Bitcoin marketplace, right, where you can buy Bitcoin directly from others, or you can sell directly to others. So we are not an exchange, we are not a brokerage, we are a marketplace. It's listing and escrow service, basically like Airbnb or eBay, right? They don't rent out the rooms themselves, right? Or in eBay, they don't sell themselves. They just connect the buyers and sellers, basically market makers and the buyers. So we are same. And what is our advantage to local Bitcoins, right, or other marketplaces? I'm going to explain. Here are stats, right? So it's going like really well. All this like years and months, it's going like steadily up. The USD volume in a month is about 20 million. We're a little bit behind local Bitcoins, but we are getting there again because of the few reasons I'm going to explain further. So you can, you can apply that knowledge and hints right in your projects. And here's another like advertisement, right? What we do, we're showing to the world that Bitcoin is considered to some people like it's being used by not so good people, right? And like maybe some fraudulent activities. So we are showing that you can do good with Bitcoin. We're building schools in Africa, and anybody can join us with that hashtag built with Bitcoin, right? You can donate Bitcoin and it will go directly to the charity. We're showing that the payments by Bitcoin, they can be done like really easily, and all these use cases with Bitcoin that like most of you, they think like in the Western world people that it's about speculation, right? Or like trading or the gray area. So who is trading Bitcoin here? Yeah, anybody uses Bitcoin for payments, sending money to friends, or right? A little bit. What else? Maybe in your like business for international settlements or for remittances, right? So it's there and people use that. We see that on our platform that people are using Bitcoin not just for speculation. Actually, you cannot speculate on Paxful. You actually buying Bitcoin and then transferring somewhere. For example, you're a guy from Africa and then you get Bitcoin and then you want to buy something from China rather than sending local currency like South African dollars or Nigerian naira. You send Bitcoin to your Chinese friend and he buys on Alipay stuff from you, for you, right? So, and there are like hundreds of examples how people are utilizing Bitcoin in their day-to-day life and business, right? For example, Western Union fees in South Africa are about 7 to 10%. With Bitcoin, you can save actually, because some people are buying Bitcoin with a more than market rate on Paxful, again, because it's easy. So you can actually make money 1-2%. Additionally, if you go to Paxful, you will see that you can sell Bitcoin with a profit. All right, so that's a small pitch about Paxful, right? It's a marketplace. It's really open-ended. You can sell for anything. Online wallets, gift cards, bank transfers, right? And I know some people here are actually selling Bitcoin at Paxful and making a living out of that. I'm not going to show who these people are, but yeah, it's possible. But I've been doing that myself on local Bitcoins like a few years ago when I lived in New York, right? So I was selling their Bitcoin with a profit, and that's how I paid my rent. Anyway, let's start. So before you build, right, you need to validate your idea. Okay, there is a competitor, right? You do the research. So why are you using them? Why people are using them? Are you solving the problem that exists, right? So if there are competitors, it means the problem is there. Then you start analyzing, and then what can you do better, right? So how is Paxful then different than local Bitcoins? I will show, right, examples. But first of all, you need to plan the MVP, right? If it's a buying process, then how many clicks you have to do to buy Bitcoin, right? And how is the general UI? With local Bitcoins, right, you take an example, it's this on the right side and on the left side. So the right side is kind of gray and so on, it's not clear. So we decided to make it more understandable, more icons, more elements. And actually, if you go online, people are saying that, hey, it's much better design than the competitors. So number one thing is that you have to think of the user journey, that the user is not getting lost, that you make sure that when you want him to buy, he goes directly to make this purchase, that he's not having any other options, like, okay, you get to the home page, you get to the offer page, and then you do the purchase. It's basically like you have to think your users are like cattle, right? That they shouldn't think, they shouldn't make decisions. You make it for them. And that's how they will reach the goal. Like, you make it as easy and understandable as possible. Another thing is, because it's fintech, there will be hackers who will try to attack you, your users, right? For example, we had a downtime of 8 hours when there was a hacker who got into our servers. He called our hosting provider and he pretended it's me. And then he got access to the servers, but luckily we saw that. And then we shut down the servers, but still like 8 hours of downtime, like Friday evening when it's the most people online, and it was like a big loss for us, then users don't trust you so much, right? Then people are complaining on Twitter and all these things, right? Besides that, you have to protect your users. You know what is phishing? When you get some email and a guy is asking, in that email, it's basically pretending to be Paxful, and then you are filling the form or something, and you enter there your password, and that's it. It's actually a phishing email, so you have to think how to protect your users from that, right? Like, you put 2FA. So how many people have 2FAs in their online accounts? Okay, that's like half, which should be more. Because even if you have like a strong password, the passwords get leaked. For example, LinkedIn passwords got leaked and so on. And the strongest password you will have, it's somewhere online available. And what we have seen that there are all these databases available with your email and with your password, and then these hackers, they just brute force all these emails against the Bitcoin services, right? If you have Bitcoin on Paxful, then the hackers will try to access your account, and we have seen that a lot of people are complaining like, hey, I got hacked, right? You are responsible for that. And then we tell them, hey, you need to see like who logged in. So you see there down below, like you see that, oh, it's not just you logging in, so it's actually other people logging in. And okay, the user lost the confidence in your website, right? It happens a lot. You can see online this kind of things. So what do you do in this case? You have to protect yourself and notify the users, right? You shouldn't blame user that he's responsible for everything, right? You have to protect yourself. How? Again, you're telling him as much information as possible, like, okay, here you logged in, there's an email, then here are your like activity, like you logged in there from that location with that IP address, was it you or not? Then always nag about like you have to put your 2FA, you have to enable it. So it's like I have like 20 websites with the 2FA, right? At least, and it really helps because like during all these years, I've seen people logging into my account. I don't know how they get the password, but there's a 2FA in between. So it really helps because you want to avoid this situation, right? One bag. No, one bag. Yeah. You want to avoid this, right? You see, it's pretty bad. And when you Google, then it's because some hacker logs in and he tells like, oh no, it's us, like logging into the old accounts that have $5 in their account, haven't logged in for a while, and we steal this $5. Like, no, it's just, again, all these things, like same password on all these websites, right? You have, and not having 2FA, so you don't want to get this situation. All right, that's in terms of like user experience. Another one. So if you want to design something and you need to get MVP fast, like you don't have much time to do like this user testing and so on, whether your design is good. What you do, you learn from the best, right? So this is the new PayPal on the left side from you, and this is the old PayPal on the right side. And it took PayPal like 10 years or 15 years to get this left side design. I don't know why so long, but it's much better, right? And actually we took the inspiration from this one, and we have the same header on the dashboard, right? So that's what you can do. Like, you see the similar websites in your space, and then get the ideas from there. So it saves a lot of time. Yeah, let's do next. Okay, and then you got this out. What do? You have to talk to your users. You have to do them really good customer support. Because if you like look on reviews of other websites, you hear a lot like, oh, the customer support is so bad, or you know, there are some delays in something. That's how you can win your users' hearts, right? And the new users, how you can get them over. You tell them like, hey, here's the support we're doing like 24/7. It's personal, or whatever new ideas you can come up with. For example, now it's really popular having Telegram groups, right? It's been like 1-2 years, so that people move into the Telegram and talk there, and then you get your information faster. You can see like these things change. 2 years ago it wasn't like that. Now Telegram is like all over. You can get there like really fast responses. Besides that, phone support is even better when you want to improve your product. You get to the phone support, and then you just listen to them, right? And then when you, for example, in our case, when a guy wanted to buy a Bitcoin, and he was confused, he was on one page, and then you talk with him and you tell him like, go there, or click on the menu, and he's like, what's menu, where's menu? You take, well, menu. And then you tell him like, you know, this hamburger menu, the 3 stripes. And he's like, what, is it a menu? So you see, some things are like obvious for us, but this hamburger menu wasn't obvious for him. So what did we do? We put like 3 stripes and menu text. So it's clear like, hey, there's a menu. And you see that with a PayPal example too. They have an icon and a text. So, or when, for example, like you have some information, block 1, 2, 3, right? But the guy, he looks not from like top to the bottom, he looks from left to the right. So, and then we had to like realign the blocks, like, okay, because he's not looking like this, he's looking like this. It really helps. The small adjustments, that's what makes your product. And rather than, you know, saying like, oh, he doesn't know what is menu, right? You don't blame him. It's like a challenge for you, or it's basically all these features that the user is suggesting, the problems that you gotta solve, and then you have to apply it back to the product. So their feedback, you put it back. That's really critical thing, because you always have to improve. All right, so let's talk about Ethereum too. Any Ethereum developers who has written any code in Ethereum? 1, okay, organizer, obviously. 2, cool. Have you lost money in smart contracts? Or made some stupid mistakes in testnet? Right? Yeah, so who has been following Ethereum, you have read that, okay, there was like loss of funds, like $150 million gets locked. And then, like, what the hell, how can it happen? And then when you start like looking at, okay, there's a bug in the system. For example, $150 million got locked because some smart contract sent the money to address where you could not recover these funds. And this is what you have to look into your, your code. This is, you have to watch out for things, right? That make sure that the money is not getting lost by doing checksums, by validating where you send, and testing on the testnet. And then it's pretty much okay then. But still, like with the Bitcoin, that Bitcoin transactions are irreversible. That's like the best and the worst thing about Bitcoin. Same with Ethereum. That again, the same properties are in Ethereum that you can lose money forever and you cannot recover. And it's still happening. It's been like with the DAO, right? That the contracts can be hacked. Who heard about the DAO like incident? All right, so yeah, basically what happened there, that the smart contract had some holes in that you could just get out the money into your wallet through some additional code. So it's really like, in my opinion, the whole thing, it has to be so like bulletproof because it's basically a lot of money on the plate. And doing that with smart contracts, it will take years until it's like really secure and you can trust a lot of money. Another thing is how you can lose money with Ethereum smart contracts is that you will have some kind of infinite loops, right? That because for every operation in Ethereum you're paying gas, which is like in Bitcoin you're paying to the miners. Bitcoin, small amount on transaction. In Ethereum, you pay gas. So if you make, and why you have to pay gas, because you can basically do a lot of transactions and they are all recorded on the Ethereum blockchain, so you have to pay for it, otherwise you can just do so many of them that you basically DDoS the whole network. And how you avoid it? Of course, you have to test it in a test net, in Ethereum test net. And then what you have to know in this case is that you pay for the transactions and you pay for the execution. You can optimize your code in Ethereum by, there are like these variables that you pay for them, because it's basically information of smart contracts that you have to store. So the more you optimize them, like having less variables, the less you have to pay. And there's like a cheat sheet for like every operation, how much you pay gas. So please Google, there's a lot of information about it. Maybe you can share it later on. And that's how you can start Ethereum development. Again, what you should pay about, what you should take into account. You have to pay attention to details. Then review what you do. Don't make any holes so you won't get hacked. Either directly or your users. And then you listen to your users because you want to get their feedback, the problems they have. And basically, that's the whole magic. So please go to our website or to this website, to Workable. We have all our job offers. We're looking for PHP developers. Our Tallinn office is expanding. We have really good perks. And if you know any developers to suggest us, we pay the referral fee. And any other position, same thing. Amazing office in a new building in city center, meals twice a day, gym membership. Every startup there is trying to get people over, but we are here as well, and we no worse than others, even better. So please check it out, and thank you. And any questions?
May I start with a question?
Yeah.
So, I know Paxful for, I think it's okay, everyone here.
I hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Is it all right? Yeah. So I know Paxful for some years, and I was always on the main page checking out how it looks like. And in your speech, you told a lot about UI, UX, but I have a feeling that you haven't changed your main page so much within the last 2 or 3 years. At least I haven't noticed any big changes from outside. Does it mean that it works so well that you don't need to optimize it, or you tried and made some tests and they didn't work so well?
It's a really good question, right? First of all, of course, you need to have some metrics, right? If you have team, you have enough resources, you have metrics, what converts, what doesn't. Like for past 6 months, we started to improve it, but it now converts really well. There's like all the information on homepage on desktop view, and then the mobile view, like what you want in a really simple English terms, that you shouldn't be too technical with your copy. You shouldn't say please select payment method. This is too technical. Please select payment method. You rather say how do you want to pay, right? As you're talking with your friend, not as a technical guy is writing code. So you got your answer. Anybody else?
I just checked. Works.
Yeah.
Okay. I just checked your website and I see that you can buy bitcoins, buy bitcoins in India, in Russia. But do you provide a service in Estonia or for European citizen?
So since we're a marketplace, right? We don't sell ourselves, and anybody around the world can buy it. Of course, in Estonia, you can buy with the bank transfers, Western Union, PayPal, gift cards, anything. And European citizens can buy too. So as long as we have somebody in Europe selling Bitcoin on the platform, then you can buy. Or even around the world, if you want to buy with PayPal, anybody from any part of the world can sell to you with PayPal, right? You just send him the PayPal money and you get Bitcoin in return.
I have a question so right now you're dealing with Bitcoin, but are you planning to extend to other currencies?
This is on roadmap, definitely. Multi-coin support, this is something we want, right? Support Ethereum, maybe Ripple, maybe not. Stable coins, right? Because a lot of vendors who are selling Bitcoin, they're asking to hedge their value, right? For example, when you're selling, and in the evening, you're done selling, you want to convert Bitcoins back to some stable coin or dollars. So what do? You have to send out from Paxful to some exchange, to some BitMEX or somewhere, and then you keep there, and then you start selling again. You do that conversion. So for ease of use, we want to support the stable coin. So that's a big topic of 2019. And then, of course, you would be able to buy Ethereum or other coins, which you can do now as well through this payment method, but it's kind of manual process that, hey, you start a trade with somebody who's selling you Ethereum, you send in the chat your Ethereum address, and then they send you back the Ethereum, and then you give Bitcoin to them. That's how it's doable now. But of course, users been asking us, so it's in our roadmap. There's a lot of things to do. That's why we need developers who can help us build this all together.
May I have one more question?
Sure.
So you mentioned that your safety concern are hackers, but you also say that you are using, or you can use gift cards, for example, to buy in the Bitcoin, which in US is used a lot for money laundering, stolen money, they use it for stolen money, etc. So is this any concern for you?
Basically, of course, we don't allow any fraud on the platform. We fight against it. We have our fraud team, customer support. We have our AML program, compliance team. We ID the users. We ask him the extra questions about their source of funds, right? That's all what we have. And it's not good for the platform, right? When you have this kind of users. as you have seen on my pictures and on the slides. So with any like fintech startup or company, there may be bad guys, but you have to fight with them. And that's what we're doing.
I just read that you also provide a Bitcoin wallet. So
Yeah.
does it mean that you provide custodian wallet service for your users?
It's a web wallet, yes. It's basically when you sign up, you get a free wallet. So you get an address, you can receive Bitcoins, and then
But it's a custodian, you provide a custodian wallet service, or it's like a light wallet, just gives you an access to a blockchain. But the user is the one who has a private key for that address.
well, it's basically a multi-signature wallet by BitGo that we own one key, BitGo owns second key, and then there's a third one. That's how it works.
I was just curious, what is your customer acquisition strategy? Do you do paid traffic or do you do everything organic, viral? Since you're sharing all the wisdom with us, I would really be interested in that. And if you do paid traffic, what is the channels that you use and what is your cost per acquisition?
That's also a good question, right? You know, it's really good to ask for this advice, as you were saying. So yeah, we have really amazing marketing team and sales team. They know more details about it, but in short, we're trying to use all the channels, like on-site SEO. We're on the first page on Google by the keyword buy Bitcoin. And also we used to do like AdWords, but now we don't do anymore because it's blocked, right? So we do like other paid traffic, like ad draw, like retargeting, Facebook ads you can do, you know, you can target like, I know, like African countries, you can target South American countries, like really cheap. So anything you're trying to do, on-site SEO, outside SEO, and then you know, the paid traffic too.
Just curious, so when you work with South American countries and African countries, do you just use English or do you translate and adapt to every country that you work with? I'm talking about your ads and your landing pages.
Yeah, we have like 15 languages on the website. So if the main language of the country is not English, then it's translated. For example,
So
Spanish.
all ads are translated?
Exactly.
Artur, quick question. You're right now a global player on a crypto market, and this is certain responsibility. You're talking with a lot of different smaller projects. And the question is how governments look on the businesses that are crypto related. Do you see any positive changes in this? Because what we see that usually when the bank hears the word crypto, they automatically say, no, we can't accept you.
Okay, yeah. Well, we like the regulations. It makes the whole crypto scene more regulated, safer, right? We don't want like any hackers or something, or we don't want to have this case like with the Canadian exchange where 190 million got lost or stolen. Who knows what happened there actually. So any kind of regulation is actually good. It shouldn't be like too rough, but it's good when there's a regulation and you follow that. Because personally, I mean, we are going this regulation road, and it is how it should be, and I think every crypto company should follow that too, because it makes you more trustworthy, and this way, the whole space, like you're showing that hey, you're caring about your customers, about the safety of funds, about like dealing with hackers, all that.
Right. One last question. Yep.
Hello. I have more of a technical question. You have so many ways to pay, but how do you accept gift cards like Amazon gift cards? Because I was thinking that these cards are meant to buy something on Amazon itself, but not to use outside the system. How do you use that?
So we don't process the payments, right? For example, when you buy from somebody with a PayPal or with a gift card, Paxful doesn't process. It's like peer-to-peer. It happens between a buyer and seller directly. So there's like a resolution system, there's a feedback system. So when you want to buy, like you sending the code in the chat to the Bitcoin seller, he processes it. Once it's good, he releases Bitcoin to you. So we are not processing the transaction. We are just there in between as a listing service, as an escrow for Bitcoin. So even if like we have like 300, we have, you know, I've seen like people saying, oh, you have 300 payments methods, right? It must mean that you have integration with all of them, right? It must be tough to keep track, but no, it's actually happening directly between buyer and seller transaction. Anybody else?
Do you have any kind of license for your service?
Well, because again, we're a marketplace and there are no like clear regulations and we are a US company, the licenses are needed for the sellers on the platform. So they have, but we are going this path too, and we are actually acquiring them, like it's in the process, so. But anybody who is selling, you know, if you want to sell Bitcoin, you have to do your due diligence in your area, like whether you need them or not, and you know what amounts you're selling.
Paxful, the last time I checked, Paxful is not on Android or iOS. So are there plans to bring Paxful on this platform?
So this is something we've been working for 2 years, and it's been asked by the users a lot, still till now, and it's gonna be by the end of this month already. So I promise, end of this month, beginning of next month, there's gonna be an app, both on Android and iOS.
All right, I think that kind of sums it up. So thank you very much for that awesome presentation. It's been really interesting, and it really helps, I think, to demonstrate the different challenges and difficulties that people have when creating a fintech application. So please give a huge round of applause for Artur. So now we'll have some time for networking, so you can meet each other, maybe ask Artur questions, or there's also some other really interesting people that you can chat with. And there's coffee, there's tea, and after 9 p.m. we'll be heading to Old Town. We'll be finding a bar to just chill out there, talk about stuff. So we continue all the discussions there. So thank you all for joining, and enjoy your time here. Thank you. Oh. Yeah. Suured tänud, täitsa kihvt oli.
Head küsimused olid.
Publikule täitsa läks peale.